Hey, it's Cathy with Level Up RN. So, in our comments, I often get people asking my opinion about going back to school as an older student. So, I actually went to nursing school as an older student. Nursing is a second career for me. I actually got my first degree in engineering many years ago and then went to get my nursing degree around 40 years old. So I can tell you that there are advantages and some disadvantages to going to nursing school as an older student. For me, one advantage was as an older student, I was more disciplined, I had a stronger work ethic, and basically I was willing to put in whatever effort was necessary in order to understand the material. This is different than when I was 19 or 20, and if I was struggling with studying or understanding a concept, I would often be like, I'll just go to sleep early and then set my alarm in the morning and get up early and study. And I'll tell you right now that that almost never worked out. Another advantage to being an older student in nursing school is that you have spent more years on this earth, so you have encountered more health issues than someone who is 20 years old. I also had gone through pregnancies, I had children, so when I took classes such as maternity nursing and pediatric nursing, I had a foundation of understanding going into those classes that was really helpful. Here's another advantage to being an older student. So when I would go to clinicals, some of my classmates who were like 20 or 21, they would often be asked by their patients, like, how old are you? And how much experience do you have? And I'm here to tell you that I never got that question. So because I was older, patients just assumed that I was experienced, and I never got questions about how old I was, have I done this before, all of that. They just kind of innately trusted my experience level. The big disadvantage to being an older student, at least for me, was the balancing of obligations. So I had kids, I had a part-time job. I was really trying to juggle a lot. And I'm not saying that younger students don't have jobs and multiple obligations. I know they do. It just is often the case that as you get older, those obligations increase. I remember one day in class vividly when a classmate of mine who was 21 and living at home was talking about how his mom made meals for him. So when he got home from class or clinical, he had dinner waiting for him. And I remember being so jealous because that was definitely not my world. The other disadvantage, is that younger students will often go out socially and do stuff, and they may not invite you because they rightfully assume that you have obligations at home, which I totally did. But it was still kind of a bummer not to be included sometimes. So those are my thoughts about going to school as an older student. I was fortunate enough to have a really strong support network. My husband picked up a lot of my slack at home. I had a mom who was really supportive, and my friends really understood when I dropped off the face of the earth for a couple of years and they didn't really hear from me. So if you are older and thinking about going to nursing school, just know that nursing school will take an enormous amount of your time. And as long as you have a support network and ways to deal with your obligations at home, I would definitely not hesitate to go to school as an older student.